The lights, we have to put a light on the flag.
Yes. I can go to it.
Okay.
I know. Oops.
Sure.
Yeah, I forgot.
Oh, I didn't even watch it. I didn't, I just, I was looking.
He makes it easy for me. Yeah, yeah.
Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Regarding this evening's agenda, I would ask the board for consideration to add a new number 10 and move everything down one number, which would be for, you have a separate piece of paper for I'm sorry, we'd have to add a new number 10 and a new number 11, which would be Highway Department plow purchase from Russert Equipment LLC, and a number 11 for Highway Equipment plow purchase from Northern Supply Incorporated. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Move on to public comment. If you could please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less and provide your name and address.
72 recommended Conway Road. According to his amended package. And you all a copy of an email that was sent to me and I'll read it out loud to the public hearing. And there will no longer be a seat at the board table for highway superintendent, town clerk, all communications of any department head will be in writing. Certainly you may attend meetings as a member of the board. This clearly shows who's responsible for the division of the town hall. Highway department. An ongoing situation since January 1st, 2010, that got progressively worse in the last 14 years. Mr. Mott is trying to keep an elected official from being able to communicate in person to the public. The public has a right to know what the highway department is doing with the things out there. This is a disservice to the residents of the town of Bennett. I have great concerns putting my comments in writing only because many times my documents have been altered on the agenda and in social media. Honestly, not sitting at the board is a terrible thing in my eyes, because quite frankly, I feel it's run fairly unprofessionally. There's been a very hostile attitude toward the board members. I'll give you an example, Mr. Claus almost every meeting. Ms. Carroll at the holiday schedule. Ms. Brush tried to ask them questions, shut right down, not ask questions and statements. Mr. Scott at the public hearing for short term rental was shut down every time he asked. Ms. Rory, every time she came into a meeting, Claiborne Coon was called a liar at the meetings. He's also allowed non-board members and the public to speak out and not spoken. Now on the highway business. CHIPS is looking to cut funding by $100 million this year. The truck that was damaged by the vendor met all my requirements, and we're taking delivery of it hopefully sometime this month. People working on some drainage issues. We are removing the snow fence, or started to springboard brush pickup starts April 22nd. The A count has not purchased any road assault that we do the services of snow removal for the buildings. It's only the purchase side of need. So I don't have material to do these jobs, nor I haven't seen a budget adjust to pay back the salt that's been used this year. I think that's a disservice to outside of the village. It's also been brought to my attention that Mr. Moffett is scheduling or trying to schedule some time with highway department employees behind my back or not like me know what's going on. The only reason I need to know that if they're not going to be in town, I need to budget this money, bill it reporting. I run the highway department. Not waste money. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who'd like to speak?
William Smith, highway superintendent for 16 years, and employee with the town for 34 years. I just, I could see it coming, that's why I left. Because of Mr. Moffett. And anything that goes on with the town, I believe is not going the right way. The sign down in Mendon, the cemetery across the Pittsburgh Credit Union's been down a year and a half. The lights aren't being repaired. There is people in town that will fix those. Town Electric will give you a price, because when I left, they were talking about, I asked for a price for that. I think it's like playing baseball. If you don't like it, you're out of the game. That's John's motto. I told Brett, he can to run their own camp and work for the town, not for Mr. Moffett. Pretty disgusting the way things have been going. I just hope things work out. It's time for a change. And you know why.
Thank you. Anyone else? Move on to supervisors' monthly reports.
Communications.
Oh, I'm sorry. Communications. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Michelle.
I attended the Association of Towns training and took like 3 to 4 classes each day. It was very informative. And I have the information to start taking classes to become a certified and registered municipal clerk. So I plan on applying for that in the next few weeks. The tax warrant, about 92% collected at this point, and we'll continue to collect through April for all of the people that pay with installments. Cindy reached out. She's going to do the audit for the court records this Thursday afternoon. So that's all ready for her. And my office will be hosting the mobile mammogram unit again on October 2nd and the annual rabies clinic on October 19th, and they'll both be held at the community center. And then that is all I have.
Thank you. Joe.
I have nothing.
Brent.
Planning board had a meeting on the 21st. They subdivision site plan, they did not take any action on it at this time, and they closed the public hearing. For the applicant's request, they're coming back at the March 20th meeting to review that. Subdivision on Bull Saw Mill. No action taken, they have, it's more paperwork. It's a special use permit for a multi-family home in the hamlet, it's still residential. That was approved and previously had various granted for acreage. On March 20th, in addition to the Bull Saw Mill, Topsted, we also had a site plan on Smith Road for a 5,000 square foot accessory structure. Continuing meeting with the supervisor and code enforcement officer. Look at some of the things that's going on in town, Hamlet, zoning, so on and so forth. Attended the Mendon Community Business Association launch meeting on February 13th. They are looking for a plan for their April 8th solar eclipse. They are working on a Hamlet map. They have a draft on that, which can show kind of an illustrating map that shows some landmarks and some businesses in the district. They have some discussions. They might do like an 11 by 17 size for coloring or for local restaurants to use as placemats. And they're also working on their website. One thing they did have at that February 13th meeting was they requested for me to complete a DOT application, which does now are 251 and 64 for the solar eclipse. I talked to them a little bit more. After that discussion, we decided about the Community Business Association. Submit that DOT application. I will not really do it without any discussion with the town board. I don't feel comfortable without one discussion with the town board. So the town board can think of in the future, if you wanted to sponsor event, what would it be? I would think that we would want something on a hard line that would say off-peak traveling hours and what they benefit the entire community. I just think we can't have any gray area here. The arbitrary creation. After a discussion about sidewalks with Kim Roberts, is actually a section of Assembly Drive does not have sidewalks. So I looked at that with her, talked with the supervisor, code enforcement officer, previous code enforcement officer, and knows that is a town road, and those they appear to be shovel ready after the preliminary review. So I talked with MRB, they're going to try to come up with some estimates of what it would take to put in sidewalks in those areas, and that might be something that we could look at in 2024 construction. We have a zoning review committee, ad hoc committee, got another meeting on that for March 19th. Time to the Association of Town, the 18th to the 21st. A lot of sessions I want to attend. I couldn't do them all. I think they're, overall, I think the town here is very proactive. I think there's still some areas we could look at improvement and make a review of your progresses. One thing that I found interesting, they talk about social media and elected officials. Specifically, they talked about using social media, personal social media to announce town business affairs or policies. And they said if you get into too much using universal social media for updating town affairs, eventually it's going to be considered a municipal site. You got to watch out for that. And also, I would recommend having official town site with official town policies, which I think once again we're proactive on that. That kind of meetings, all those items on the agenda. So we did that. Had a meeting with a member of the ECB board, Peter Grossa, code enforcement officer, and member of the planning board, Charlie McCall. And the purpose of this meeting is to do the proposed trail connection between Lehigh Valley Trail and
Summel Road or dry spot, by an easement from the epicenter. You'll remember the epicenter gave us permission for an easement. A lot of wetland areas down there, so I just wanted to stop down with this smaller group of people and see if this is something we wanted to proceed with. And I think it was interesting. Charlie has some good ideas about maybe get wildlife involved. There's a lot of natural wildlife down there, could be educational. So for the next step, I plan on contacting, the Mendon Foundation, the county, and the center. See if we can come up with an agreement before we start getting into talking to New York State DEC, Fish and Wildlife, Army Corps of Engineers. It could be a long haul. I wouldn't see anything happening down there before 2025. One other thing we also talked about, maybe possibly have again hot committee to review some of the pods and other environmental areas that concerns or issues I think Tommy mentioned a few months ago. Peter requested, maybe something in the fall. Needed the quorum, Tim Roberts and I met discussing the forum guidelines for how to measure meetings. Preliminary discussions with the county attorney indicated that there are many concerns and it's not a simple or a simple process. Reached out to Association of Towns, see if they have any guidelines or examples that you can get in there. And the finance audit scheduled to do that next week, so that will be done for our April.
Thank you. Kim?
The zoning board meetings have been canceled. There hasn't been anything on the agenda. And there is a meeting this Thursday, so I'm not next board meeting. I too attended the Association of the Towns meetings in New York, and I attended 10 different trainings, some being fraud prevention and detection, fiscal oversight responsibilities, duties of the code enforcement, understanding of fund balance, the new annual financial report, maintaining a non-toxic workplace, pitfalls in budgeting, policies and procedures for managing your town. I found all of these to be very beneficial, and I just appreciate the opportunity to attend these trainings.
Thank you. Cindy?
Thank you. First, I would like to request that, the board be provided with a, monthly summary of the work that, performed by the code enforcement officer. And with regard to the library, I have a correction to make. I think I originally said, the town of Rush is going to take possession of that book drop box, the mobile drop box. And that didn't work out, but Scottsville Public Library took it, and they actually paid and took it. And they are using that at their Mumford branch. So I just wanted to make sure I corrected that. The Friends will have their annual flower sale, but there was no date given. And Lila wasn't sure the date, it's May 11th. If that date. They're also having another food drive for the benefit of Fish Food Closet. Their February programs were very well attended, especially during vacation week. There is an eclipse program that will be held for children on March 29th. Part of the eclipse program. Scheduled for summer reading program. It's supposed to be completed. So they have several fun activities for reading program, which has done a great job planning. The library has given out between 12 and 1,500 eclipse glasses, and they've gotten to the point where they have so many, they're not even keeping track of how many one family takes. Okay. They have been giving them just to people with library cards and that kind of thing, but they said they are giving them out pretty much. And the library field team had a training on how to handle hostile environments within the library, as well as doing book discussions. with the patrons, and they shared that information with their clerks. And Lila shared her 2023 year in review, and she did a nice little summary here. And I think she was going to try to count some of these.
Yep, yep.
Okay. And that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, there was no ECB meeting this morning. Historic Preservation Committee, we talked about I think it was last meeting, about the New York statewide preservation conference. It's actually being held through the summer. And I think there's an agenda item for us to vote on, but there's two members in 1 to 10, that's both Martha Bush and Jack. Mendon has Mendon designated historic. They have a list of houses that have chosen to be listed, and they're in the process of fortunately, it's in a bunch of different places, and they're consolidating that. Then they have prospective homes that they're gonna approach the home buyers. Now, I was curious, I didn't really know a whole lot about it, but it really just affects the outside appearance of the house. And as a designated home, if you are going to change the appearance, you should get, I don't say permission, but you should run it by the Historic Preservation Committee. As it turned out, it was a perfect example of that. This month where they approved 361 Cheese Factory Road, they put new steps off their porch, natural stone steps, and that process went to code enforcement, went to the Historic Preservation, and it was approved this month. So that's it.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Can you just repeat? You said something was being held in Rochester for the
Yes.
summer. What was that?
It is the New York statewide preservation conference, and if you would like, here's a
Thank you.
It's the same as number 17.
Perfect. Thank you.
Communications. First of all, trying to work out a few kinks that have developed in the voucher system. So I've asked the clerk from the highway to come over tomorrow, meet with the deputy town clerk and myself so that we can expedite vouchers properly going forward. I'd like the board to think about a closing date for the Mendon Youth Center. Last year, we ran it until, I believe, Memorial Day weekend. They said that it really was pretty light turnout in May, so maybe we want to think of something, a closing date. If you have any suggestions, I'd like to put that on the agenda for next month. The town of Victor has an application for a solar farm before its planning board. The solar farm abuts the town of Mendon. I do have quite a bit of information downstairs on it if anybody's interested in looking at it. I did contact the secretary for the town of Victor's planning board. And she said she did not send postcards out to anybody in the town of Mendon because their software apparently is just for Ontario County. But they did, but the applicant who wants to put up a solar farm did have a list of everybody who's within 500 feet. So I asked her if she would please notify those residents in the town of Mendon appropriately that are within the 500 feet. Let's see, street lights in the hamlet. So anything that's out on Assembly Drive is the responsibility of RG&E. Our buildings and grounds person met with a representative of RG&E, and they have designated which street lights need to be fixed. The ones that are more decorative in the hamlet, there's a myriad of problems with those. So I'm working with our buildings and grounds to rectify that. Some of the lights come on at dusk, and then for some reason or another, they go off an hour or two later. Some of them aren't working at all. Some of the globes have holes in them. Try to get globes that match. Can't find them. You know, they're over 20 years old, so it's not surprising. So the answer is we're working at it. Laurel Landers, who is was number 23, now number 25 on your agenda this evening for possible hiring for LLC. I found out over the weekend that my daughter-in-law did while she was in college, she worked for the same company that Laura Landers worked for, and she was under her supervision. So I just wanted to be transparent to the board about that connection, which I knew nothing of until this weekend. Did an internship, that's the word I'm looking for. I went to New York City for the annual training. I thought it was excellent. Some of the things that I thought were great was discussion on fund balance, ethics, pilots. One of the things I asked, that's payment in lieu of taxes. One of the things I asked the presenter was about if someone who has received a special use permit to operate a business in a residential zone, if the pilot, how that would work if they ceased operations. So I thought that was very interesting. There was a lot of talk about that social media class. I forgot who was in that. Brent, were you in that one? Or Kim? Yes, I was in one. Yes, and also talked about First Amendment rights. They highly suggested, as is our policy, that comments are not allowed on a town social media page. Also, I would strongly suggest to the board that we consider sending the code enforcement officer to the annual training next year. There were a lot of courses that would pertain to the code enforcement officer. I had him look over the agenda. He seemed to be interested. Let's see, I have on the 13th, Wednesday, I have a meeting with the Monroe County Sheriff's Department about the eclipse regarding traffic and emergency services, that type of thing. At Zone B. Also, we're continuing with Brent, our monthly stormwater meetings. I did a Zoom meeting with Eastern Shore, who's our insurance company, regarding required training for things like bullying and workplace violence, sexual harassment, that type of thing. Let's see. I'd like to put a sign up in Mendon Center at the tennis courts / pickleball courts, identifying those courts as being town of Mendon property, and with some basic information on the sign, because I've had a few questions about whose are they, who can use them, that type of thing. The Girl Scout house, they invited me over for a little tour. They've done a very nice job in the front of the old library on Monroe Street. They're planning some kind of a event this spring. I'll let you know when that event takes place. And I'm working with the supervisor secretary regarding updating the procurement policy. I know Cindy, last month I said we have it for this month, but it turned into a little bit more than I thought it was going to, because we want to make sure we're operating within the law as well. We just want to make sure we got it done correctly. So make every effort to have it ready for next month. Thank you. Now we'll move on to supervisors.
Motion to acknowledge the supervisors monthly reports for getting version.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next is town clerk's monthly report.
Make a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the town clerk's monthly report for February 2024 and try to receive the disbursements in the amount of $9,161.67.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Minutes?
Take motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held on February 12th, as presented. I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next are budget adjustments. Adjustment.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget adjustments as delineated in number 9.
Second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye, any opposed? Thank you. New number 10, which is on a separate sheet of paper. Highway Department plow purchase, Russert Equipment LLC.
I'll make a motion to authorize the purchase of a Ford F-150 2-inch plow blade system and located in parts of the Russell Equipment LLC. The cost not to exceed $3,000 to be paid from account VA 5030.400.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye, any opposed? Thank you. New number 11, Highway Department plow purchase, Northern Supply Incorporated.
Motion to authorize purchase of the React 11 reversible kit and associated parts from Northern Supply Inc., Bloomfield, New York, at cost not to exceed $3,000 and be paid from account PA 5130.400.
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Thank you. These two items are on the abstract this evening. That's why they put it in the agenda. So move on to the new number 12, which is the abstract of audited vouchers.
Motion to approve all of myself. 24-131, 24-219, abstract, 24-03, amount of $797. Or $797,723.
Second.
Any discussion?
John had already mentioned it was a couple of hiccups on his vouchers. And there was a couple that did not get signed. We have 4 of them right now that are not signed. So without those being signed, our voucher total would $796,212.44. I would be more comfortable if they were signed by the claimant, department head before I move forward for payment. So I think we would really be looking, in my opinion, looking at those for next month.
So,
But we had to, because of discussion, had to make a motion, so we can discuss that.
sure. So, Sheldon, what would be the best course of action here? Are we gonna ask to rescind the motion or amend it, or should we put this to a vote and then see what happens?
Well, if you're gonna change it and there's a consensus on that, then I would say you table it. In other words, if you don't have the information to have a decision tonight, then you can either not make the motion tonight and have a next meeting, or you can table it until next meeting. It would require the consent of the moving person and the second to do either one of those, or just postpone it until next meeting.
So it's on the abstract, so what Brent is basically saying that he could make a motion for everything but those things
Yeah.
that weren't signed.
So
Yeah, so
voucher 151, 152.
Should we entertain another motion is it okay to entertain another motion and vote on that one? Or should we,
Or withdraw the motion that's been made and have someone make the motion that's what everyone agrees to.
I forgot to make the motion.
Brent and Cindy.
How would you like to handle that?
What I think the most appropriate is to make the motion, which notes that these 4 vouchers will be pulled out of it total. And those vouchers will be considered in the next meeting.
Right, but the motion, sorry, go ahead.
Is that going to make it too late to pay them?
Yes.
Then, from what I'm hearing, correct, you need to rescind, Cindy needs to rescind and then propose a new resolution with the new amount.
And you said it was 151, 152, you said it was 4.
But it is 151, 152, 153. 167. So who would present first, second Sheldon or the first?
Better who takes it back first.
Well, if you're gonna, I would just say withdraw everything and start all over again. They made it right.
Okay, so is that your intention to withdraw Cindy and Brent?
Yes.
You want to go ahead, Brent, and give us a new number?
So I'll make a motion to approve all claims on vouchers number 24-131 to 24-219 minus voucher numbers 151, 152, 153, and 167 in the amount of $796,212.
Second.
Any discussion?
I look forward to what you have mentioned of the meeting to help streamline and put your system in months coming forward.
Yes, I think we have identified some of the issues, and I'm fairly confident that we can have April be a lot more streamlined. And we've got a second, correct? Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
And they know the library has correct 24-0-4-0-37, now from 57-59-35 also.
Thank you very much. We will move on to resolution of honor for Richard Joint.
Following whereas Richard Dick joined and has served the United Community as a volunteer in the fire department for 60 years. Now therefore be it resolved that this town board commends Dick for his lifetime of service and thanks him on behalf of the entire community for the countless hours that he has donated to training, responding to alarms, and multitude of other activities associated with his service to the fire.
Any discussion? This was a request that came from the fire department. The reason Dick's not here is that this resolution of honor will, I've been asked to present it to him at the banquet. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next, town hall water heater replacement.
Authorize purchase and installation of green 10-gallon hot water heater for town hall from Schuler Heating and AC at cost not to exceed $22,995. We paid from A160 .41.
Any discussion? Currently, there is a 40-gallon gas hot water heater cooking water in the basement 24 hours a day, 7 days. we use hot water for hand washing. The hot water heater is somewhere, I would say, underneath where we're sitting. The restrooms obviously are over there. When this place is a restaurant, the water, hot water goes through a myriad of copper pipes before it gets to the restroom. And Michelle, I think you vouch for me that you can wait a long time for hot water.
Long time.
Plus, I think that this would be a lot more efficient. We use a lot less gas, electric versus gas. And I think the employees would be extremely happy. As well as the people who stop in to use the restrooms. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next is computer replacements.
So moved.
Any discussion? I've been working with our consultant, I'll call you Danny, regarding the computers, since he's done an excellent job of putting us on a replacement schedule. Our server is 5-6 years old. It's due for replacement, and overall, this is just keeping us in line with everything being updated every 5-6 years. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next, drives back field survey. I would just mention that the estimate has been revised to $2,500 from $2,700. So if you're considering this resolution, please use the 2,500 mark instead of 2,700.
I'll make a motion to accept the proposal from our previous time for large scale upgrade of having park area fields of the cost of $500 from account A7120.
Second.
Any discussion?
One thing I just want to mention from the beginning is I've known Mr. Arborister for a number of years. I've been working a relationship with him in no fashion does that affect my ability to act arbitrary mind.
I do have a question.
Sure.
You explain the purpose of this.
Yes, there's been some discussion along the drive by fields area of some possible additional sports fields, whether it be baseball fields, soccer fields, ice hockey rink, and whatnot. What this does is this gives us the ability to get the topographical image of it, so we could identify where somebody's fields could be, or something that's an inventory of recreation. And here, you can see, okay, we need more soccer fields, would we fit down here? Or baseball, or ice hockey, playground, technically a playground. Well, put that out there. Who knows what's going to happen?
I think it's a good investment. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next is number 50, or well, it was number 50, new number 17, rubber mulch purchase. And there again, we had an updated cost from the vendor. The new cost is $14,611.82.
I'll make a motion to authorize the purchase of 56,000 pounds of heated black rubber mulch for the playground on the road. From Best Rubber in Gilbert, Arizona, for the amount not to exceed $14,611.82.
Any discussion?
Is it playground currently shut down?
Yes. Yes, the mulch that was there has been removed. And, we had a lot of problems, a lot of complaints about that last year, from everything, weeds to bees to, think that was at Beats and Beats. This rubber mulch would, we put down a fabric first. I know the exterior has timbers in it. Had some complaints about possibility getting a sliver from the timber. So this would remove the timbers, would remove replace the existing mulch with this rubber mulch that a lot of communities are using. It's just a lot easier to maintain going forward, and definitely be an upgrade. This would be permissible for our fund.
How long will it take for, how long will it take for this to get them so that it's going to be open maybe by spring?
I guess it would depend on your definition of spring, but I would say in the next, yeah, I would think by the 1st of May, we'd be ready to go.
Thank you.
Anything else? Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Next, Spray Park chair purchase.
Motion to authorize purchase of the additional non-full security spray part. Exercise woodworking and for a cost of $8,000. A 720.
Any discussion?
Good idea. Underneath the village area, we've got plenty of picnic tables. It seems as though we are shortage on and ride back chairs when I'm down there at the spring park. Parents seem to like to drag them around all corners of all corners on the circular.
Yeah.
Splash pad. I think.
How many chairs do we currently have?
6. So, my discussion with, the folks who were using it is the adults really enjoyed those, had an opportunity to, watch your children move around the pad, like Brent said. And I think it would be, beneficial. For it. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next, Historic Preservation Commission training.
I'd like to approve the attendance of Jeff Tesh and Martha Bush at the New York State Wide Preservation Conference with Howard Memorial Art Gallery, Rochester, New York, April 15th to 17th, 2024. It costs of $150 each, and to be paid from account E8022.400.
Second.
Any discussion?
I told them, because there's like early bird pricing, that I think 13th is the last day of that, they'll probably, sign up for it, and that if we agree to this, so.
13.
13th is, yeah, so then the next, I'm gonna get rid of another time. I want to wait till it's approved.
All right, it would be. The best way to do it would be for us to, pay it directly.
Oh,
I realize it's time element, so,
I believe it's 13th is the, all right, if that's the best way to.
March 14th.
For it.
Yep, which is Thursday. If there's something I can do to get them signed up quick
that's the
and do
day
it,
before the.
I can try
That's
to
the
do
day
that for you.
before.
No,
The-
March, April, versus April.
April 15th is the conference.
Yeah, the
Yes.
March 14th is the cutoff for the early bird price.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
But if there's something I can do to sign them up,
Do you want to reach out
Faster.
to Jeff?
Sure,
Yeah, reach out to Jeff.
Jeff
Or,
and
I'll-
Martha,
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll send an email to you, Jeff and Martha.
perfect. Yeah, because if that'll help, we can get that right out.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we can get that checked up. Might be able to get it up to that one.
Or there might be an online option for.
Might, yeah, there's no.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, did we vote?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to new number 20, Monroe County.
Oh, we did not vote. We had a first and a second. I'm sorry.
We did vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Move on to number 20, Monroe County Environmental Management Council, Mendon representative.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Carol A lot. Well, well. Well, she doesn't want to. As a town manager representative of Carroll County Environmental Management Council, term to expire December 31st, 2020.
Any discussion? We've had a representative to this, but that representative is no longer in our ECP. So the county reached out for us for
She's the, yeah, she's got the job. So.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Thank you. Excuse me. Next, Highway Department air conditioning machine purchase.
Second.
Any discussion? I'm sorry, Brent, I didn't.
As we move forward up in our procurement policy, I think we should get some of the functions like. You know, I don't know if I want, on regular parts like this, I don't. Now,
Sure.
especially for tires or air conditioning, this time of year is not overly important, but. Some, I think it's very important. Right.
Yeah, I Googled that. It talked about it apparently captures the fluid. So it sounds like it can be a pricey thing at a dealer. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next, we have Highway Department of Buildings and Grounds. This is for a vehicle transfer.
Motion to authorize the transfer of a 2016 Ford F-250 purchased from the VA fund in February 2016. The Highway Department and the Buildings and Grounds Department and the 2022 Ford F-250 to purchase from a fund in February 2023 from the Buildings and Grounds Department and the Highway Department. Effective as soon as possible.
Any discussion?
Now we can even swap.
You mean financial?
Yeah, financial.
It doesn't matter. It's the same tax base.
Okay.
Townwide.
Okay. Makes sense.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Amendment to Resolution 24050.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the resolution 24050 as follows. Delete the final paragraph and replace with Highway Department will make available to building and grounds any piece of equipment that the building and grounds department knows how to operate.
Any discussion?
Hold on. Sure. The man under that second. So reads, the highway department may make available to buildings and grounds, any piece of equipment that buildings and grounds department know how to operate safely. Or will provide necessary training for a qualified operator.
You know, as you say that, Brent, I'm thinking lawfully also should be.
I thought I was doing good. So how to operate safely and lawfully.
Well, yeah, but I like what you said too.
Well, I like to safely and lawfully, because I think there's a lot of equipment down at the highway department to be. Well, the snowplows, you have to be the CDL. And then I think, at the last meeting or maybe 2 meetings ago, there was mention of some in-house training. So the purpose of this is I read the original amendment was just to make sure that that there is equipment available to buildings and grounds department. I understand the concern of the operating safety lawfully, so I just think man that, after safely with no confidence, they can't walk, will provide necessary training for a qualified operator.
Um. I'm sorry, Brent make the original motion.
Nope, Tom did.
So,
Would you like
withdraw? Withdraw.
Want to amend it with Brent's statement?
Right. well,
Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, you can accept,
I think that's all it said.
Oh,
if the movement accepts the amendment, then the second accepts it, you're good to go.
oh, okay.
The second was Brent.
Second was Cindy,
Oh,
first
Cindy.
was Tom, so they have to rescind.
Send it now, remaking the motion.
So you can accept it, they said.
Oh, I accept it. Okay,
Oh.
accept the changes.
Oh, okay,
That's all right with you, Cindy?
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
okay.
No problem.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor? Aye, any opposed? Thank you. Next, we have an IT contract with Daniel Bassett.
Motion to enter into an information technology consulting agreement with Daniel Bassett for the remainder of 2024 at an hourly rate of $50 per hour to be paid from account 81410.
Any discussion?
I just want to make sure that Sheldon approved of the contract from Danny.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. All in favor? Aye, any opposed? Thank you. Next, new number 24, HR and payroll contract, ADP.
Make a motion to enter into a contract. He, like human resource and payroll services. I think detailed proposal. We did services that are outlined in this agenda. The contract period will begin first 2024 and December 31st, 2024, and monthly rate $3,676.34. Account 813.401.
Second.
Second, okay, any discussion?
Kind of this meeting went through it, a few things that really benefited the town of Mendon a lot. One thing they're offering, helping us update our policy and procedures manual, update some of our job descriptions. And one of the things, and I plan on holding them to this, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm heard, they said, we lock into this rate, we update this agreement before it expires. This rate holds on to her.
Yes, they did say.
Yeah, so it's not like healthcare where it keeps on going up a certain percentage each year. We update it before the end of the year.
We can lock it in this date. In
That's right.
perpetuity, you said?
It's John, that,
Yes,
heard him say it, right?
I did as well.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, so.
So, I've talked to a few companies, ran their contracts by the town attorney. Not all of them were, agreeable to the town attorney, I'll call it.
that's correct.
And we're currently using ADP for our payroll, but not nearly in this fashion. So they would be basically doing all our payroll, our HR, and everything would be modernized. I had Michelle sit in with a meeting with them. It would be a whole new way of operating. And then
Updated way.
I'm sure there's gonna be a couple of bumps in the road.
Yeah.
But we'll get through them.
Well, if employees had questions, they would call a number, there would be like someone here.
Correct. They would call ADP directly. We have 4 hours a month where we have access to attorneys who specialize in labor law. We also have a designated person that's assigned to us as far from ADP. I think what some of the other highlights,
I think the time I'm concerned. It's a little bit more automated on that.
yes.
I like that everything's online.
Yes.
Did they handle New York State retirement? as well?
No, they don't. They don't handle the reporting.
Part of it, yeah.
Who would, I mean, I was kind of halfway through the process of updating my. We'll talk about that all.
Okay. They do not. That would still have to be done. The reporting for New York State retirement, it would still have to be done. in-house. They would be basically payroll and HR services, like I say, it's gonna take a few weeks to get this thing completely. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Next is financial consultant services, with Laurel Landers LLC.
Motion that you for financial services with Laura L. Landers, LLC, to provide services until December 31st, 2024, as outlined in their engagement letter dated March 6th, 2024. For the amount not to exceed $22,600, paid from account 13110-101.
So just so everybody knows, if the previous one and this one are approved by the board, we will no longer have a finance director at the town. All those services will be provided by these folks. These folks, again, work remotely. They do not come into the office. They are available to the they are not available to the staff. They work only directly with the supervisor, the town clerk, the deputy supervisor. I talked to several other towns, as did Brent. Brent, I don't want to speak for you, but I think you don't mind here, that are using their services. They are very happy with her services. And as I mentioned before, I found out over the weekend that my daughter-in-law did an internship under Miss Landers at a different one. So, we did interview a similar type of service. Actually met with them numerous times. I think we felt that this was the best situation for the town. And also most bang for the buck. Would you agree, Brent?
I agree. Talking to this board, I felt smart.
Same.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next, we'll move on to Hamlet Sidewalk Project with MRB. Still with time.
Yeah, I am.
All right.
Ready to answer any questions.
Make a motion to enter into a contract. For the sidewalk executive project. It'll be February 9th, 2024. Count 8021.400. Once the word grant.
So last month, as you know, we all received this proposal. It was kind of the last minute, just before the last meeting. Hopefully everybody had a chance to look it over. Didn't hear anything from anybody, so put back on the agenda. And are there any other comments or concerns?
Received the email, that asked about kind of priority of the phases of all of this. And, you know, I think we identified this one, phase one, to enact that on farm. And then we could update, did have that email about possible funding for, connection of Miles Square Road, the trail, you know, go up that farm, or not, but farms, I'm just the fire department having this. I think, you know, in my mind, after this, we get this underway, start getting design plans. But move into the next phase, hopefully the design plans for the entire project. so we can get what I call shovel ready. So if there ever was grant dollars available, we could jump on them, or we could push them around to local elected officials, you know, sometimes around election time, they like to give out money to help.
I think it's just a good first phase, start off and conceptually review it with the state, see what they'll take, what they won't take. We can propose those different alternate sidewalks and get some pricing from the two county contractors, one being Villager and the other being Campbell, that do this concrete work. Say, here's our rough sketch, what do you think on pricing ballpark, and I'll give you guys a budget, you know, give us an opportunity to at least get in front of New York State DOT and say, is this feasible, or do you want 6 months of paperwork just to make the same thing accomplished? So.
I like that we're moving forward with this project because we've talked about it for quite a while.
Yeah, I think the Assembly Drive seems like a reasonable project, not a big lift to get that. Just one little section that you may want to consider, or crossing the road to get to the market.
Thank you.
And that parcel that doesn't have the sidewalk, where it ends on Assembly, that parcel was sold at tax auction a few months ago, so, not really sure who bought it, what their intentions are, but, that would be nice for the people walking down to 251. Be a nice addition.
I think there is, there's point on 51, a stub that comes out in the perfect spot for a crosswalk. If I'm not mistaken, that's on the east side of the Assembly Drive. So it just completes in the hand of the sidewalks. I see it. The president. But for this grant, because we know it's not an easy section. No, and biting off a couple pieces of this and getting in front of the DOT is a large stuff, I think, or a large work step.
I mean, the two parts to me that makes the most sense are the part of 251 we're talking about going up to Mendon Farms, and from the existing sidewalk in Hamlin going up in front of the cemetery towards the firehouse. They're also the two most expensive parts because of the topography through that area. The rest of it's relatively flat. But as we've talked, those are the two most important parts, and there's a reason why the sidewalk stopped where it does, because the expensive part was dead ahead.
They ran out.
And I also would add that I have sent the proposal from MRB.
What are you doing? I saw you
That
tapping your
was-
foot over there.
I sent it to Assembly Person Lunsford. I met with her, and sent the proposal from MRB to Assembly Person Lunsford's office, seeking any type of funding from the state. See what happens. We're ready to vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Back to public comments. Anybody? Okay, motion for adjournment?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you for the movie.